The birds, the bees, the buffalo trees. 7 easy steps towards enlightenment. This book is about a journey through time and space, but also the human heart. I wanted to give to you, my dear reader, a little bit of the wisdom that I've accrued along the way. It's often been said that life or living or hiking or giving is not about the destination, but more about the journey. Stop and smell the roses, pay attention to the little things, and remember to remember. We live inside the present because that is our fate here on Earth 3D, but the present will never ever disappoint one. Round about the 5th of November, as long as we remember not to trammel on the feelings or the dealings of anyone else. A life lived more wholesome is nothing less than wonderful and meant to be spent with the folks that we love. I am but a figment, dear reader, a product of the ether, but as a mouthpiece for the collective conscience, I can tell you several things. Love and fear are constants, dear, and we need them both. They are the yin and the yang, the heart and the brain, the soulful refrain that will remain till the end and will always contain all that is meaningful and thoughtful and caring, all that is special and awful and daring. I love you, dear reader, and I mean that with all of my heart. All I ask is that you remember me in your prayers. Bodhi Sparks. Letting go. Here in this shadow realm we call Earth 3D, there are only two ultimate realities, love and fear. Everything else is illusion. Unfortunately, one cannot exist without the other. But follow any thought, feeling, or action, and you will see that it emanates from a platform of one or the other. Most of us live our lives clinging to a cliff's edge of worry, afraid to let go and unable to climb up. If we could only swallow our fear and let go, we'd inevitably find that we were only an inch off the floor the whole time. Once our feet are settled on the earth, we are free to move around and explore our life. Letting go is not easy and is often only temporary. Sometimes we feel compelled to jump up and hang on by our fingernails all over again. The great thing, though, is that you can let go over and over, and nobody's keeping score. Unfortunately, many of us spend our entire lives filled with the fear of uncertainty and never become willing to take a chance and loose our grip. Have a little bit of faith. Trust and believe that the universe does love you. Live through love, and you'll always be cared for. Live through fear, and you'll have to do all the heavy lifting yourself. What's the worst that could happen? So you fall to your death. Better that than a life wasted slowly. Love is not exclusive. Love is not exclusive. Perhaps it is the ignorance of this that is the greatest failing in organized religion. I have never been to a church or temple or mosque that didn't assert that their path to God is the right one, and thus, by default, all the other paths are wrong. The only thing we can really count on in life, the only thing worth anything, is love. And love is not divisive. True love does not destroy or judge or cause a man to stumble. I grew up in a spirit-filled fundamentalist Christian church. I witnessed miracles of healing there and learned about the power of faith, but I was taught that there was only one path, one truth, one way. Yet I always wondered, why would the God of love create all these many souls on this great big planet only to save a handful? From a very young age, I struggled mightily with this teaching. All dogs go to heaven. And that's a fact, Jack. You can't be good enough, bad enough, educated enough, or ignorant enough. Worship God or bow to Satan. Feed the hungry and comfort the poor. Consort with demons and sacrifice children. It doesn't really matter. You, me, the birds, the bees, the buffalo trees, and even the rocks and things. We are all in the process of becoming. So rejoice. Be exactly who and what you are and know that it is right and proper. Daddy loves me so very much. I'm his favorite little pirate, and you're his favorite too. Rejoice, rejoice. December 23rd, 2014. Thinking that I'm finally getting her dialed in. have gone through 6 notebooks, 4 relationships, 1,100 aperitifs, and a whole lot of nonsense to be able to stick and to stay and to finally say that it's the 5th of November and I'm actually writing this travelogue for real now, actually. No more getting your panties in a bunch because it didn't come off just right. I crash landed now in Central Florida. Not sure about the date, but we're close to the new year. Made a camp in the bush with some plastic tarpaulins and soda crates. My wife-to-be, or current love interest, whatever the case may be, is also here with me, which makes it rather nice, as a camp with 2 is always happier than a camp that contains only me. The plan so far is to work and to save up here what will principally be and appear as the best of a situation which went west in a most unfortunate way. Have left the boys and the ex in New York with the rest of my social indemnity, and though tearfully certain of my imminent demise, those most close to me are also waiting with bated breath for my next move, which I shall execute soon. That is, to save up and buy an ocean-going kayak with which myself and future bride will paddle our knuckles white into the sand, hopping island to island and making a stand for the low and the lovely, and for all of Daddy's true kitties, who is each and every one of us. The birds, the bees, the buffalo trees, and everything in between. A travelogue of stupid proportions. About the human, a travelogue of stupid proportions about the human spirit, its journey and encounters along this long and lovely everything. Just thinking about the cost of everything, and nothing's ever lost. I really love you, Daddy, and I really, really mean it. Forever will it come to this, and christen it and cherish it. The 5th of November, a day like no other. I really shouldn't sanction it, but Daddy and the residents of Earth 4D are waiting for us to just get a little better, so that cheddar can age just a little more lightly and sprightly. Then we'll go about the business of and the creation of these words of love and worlds of love. And we're almost done for the first journal entry in this new notebook. Namaste, Bodhi Sparks. Ego reduction therapy. I used to think that helping others was the best way to reduce your ego, but it's really quite the opposite. Allowing others to help you is really how it's done. Try this if you have the balls. Give away all the cash you have on your person, then stand outside a store or restaurant and beg until you have enough money to buy your next meal. It's going to feel like lead going down, but as you swallow that last mouthful, reflect on how important you really think you are. Helping others is very noble and important, but it's the easy side of the equation. Allowing yourself to be vulnerable and needy, that's the part we hate. Balance the equation and be a whole person. I dare you. Just me. What's next? Oh, yes. On walking. There's a certain way you walk here in Central Florida. It's sort of like a chicken, but nothing like the way that we remember to stick and to stay, to make love and to pray as up upon the borders of our heart's tearful mortars. Not so awesome here with the cuckleburls and the prickers that we avoid so easily once we get a feel for the place in which we occupy a slice. This juicy portion, flayed out and heaped up ever so generously, for you and for me, along the International Drive, with its wonderful hotels and swanky places to rest and rejuvenate the soul and the palate, the groin and the shallot, the coin and the valet. This modern Garden of Eden graces us with oily fish guts and pomegranate husks. There's a certain way you walk through every stage and segment of this erstwhile journey we call life. Far be it from me to ever say any less than is necessary. Love the scenery and the greenery. Thank you, Daddy. Let's see what comes next.